जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, you're all welcome for Bhakti Shashtri studies of Srimad Bhagavad-Gita. So we have to together study 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and we are some 36, I think, students to 31 students right now. So I think we cannot have introduction, but during the classes our interaction may make us known to one another. Jivan Radha Govindas, Hare Krishna, welcome. Bhakti Prada, Champak Lata.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. So, have you opened your books and studied something early? Beginning, you have done something? You have read something?
Prabhuji, you are asking me, Prabhuji?
I'm just you may answer on your own.
Yes, Prabhuji, we are reading Bhagavad Gita first chapter.
So, you have read the preface? We want to discuss preface, but we will not be able to go through whole introduction, but that's also one important aspect, introduction. So this unit primarily aims to deepen students' understanding of relationship between Varna, Ashram, Dharma and Krishna consciousness. This topic, essential to understand of the Bhakti Shastra, is introduced in the first verse of Bhagavad Gita, Dharam Kshetre. Because the place where this Bhagavad Gita was spoken is Dharma Kshetra. And continue to the 18th chapter, wherein Krishna concludes his discussion on the principle of religion. Dharmayam Samvadam. Samvadan means dialogue. And Dharmayam means based on the Dharma. So, while this is something in the introduction, Gita Mahatamya, some verses, 7 verses are there. This is the first question that we will discuss. What aspect of Prabhupada's mood and mission are revealed in Preface? So have you read Preface, or shall we read together? Hare Krishna, yes?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, we can read together. Maybe I think not everybody would have read.
We'll read together.
So you have 7 days. We have one class in 7 days. So it is important to at least read in the beginning something, then it will be easy for you to understand and for us to discuss. So preface has mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada, but there are two more things in the preface also. So you all open your book and preface. Please open all your books. We will relish the preface. First paragraph of preface, Srila Prabhupada has written in say 8th line or something, this makes the book authentic, scholarly, and makes the meaning self-evident. You find this line?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So it means if the book is written with a Sanskrit verse, word-to-word meaning, and then translation, then the book becomes authentic, scholarly, and makes the meaning self-evident. This is Prabhupada's one mood that he should present books like that. This is one. Now go to the other second paragraph, first 3 lines. Our Krishna conscious movement is genuine, historically authorized, natural, and transcendental. 4 things. Why? Due to its being based on Bhagavad-Gita as it is. So it means the whole Krishna conscious movement's philosophy, the foundation is Bhagavad-Gita as it is. And therefore movement is genuine, historically authorized, natural, and transcendental. Because Bhagavad Gita is none different than Krishna. And Krishna is transcendental, so our movement is also transcendental. It is natural because everybody naturally wants to be happy. And then this movement is having only chanting, dancing, and feasting. So when you are happy, what do you do? Eat, sing, and dance. It's just natural. Now, go to the next page. Next page, you read, some of them said that it is greatly fortunate for the American that I have started Krishna conscious movement in America. Can you find this line? Many parents of my disciples, they came and told me. You find this? I want to read from here. But actually, can you find the word but actually? The original father of this movement is Lord Krishna himself. You find this line?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, this is more from here I want you to read. But actually the original father of this movement is Lord Krishna himself, since it was started a very long ago, but is coming down to human society by disciplic succession. If I have any credit in this connection, this is the humbleness and genuine disciplic succession of Srila Prabhupada. It does not belong to me personally, but it is due to my eternal spiritual master, His Divine Grace, Om Vishnupad, Paramhansa Parivarjikacharya 108, Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. This is even for our personal application in our life. Whatever achievement we have, we should never be proud that it belongs to us, but they are because of the mercy of our spiritual master and Krishna. See the Prabhupada's genuine, humble presentation. People say, I am the founder Acharya, but actually Krishna is the founder Acharya. If I have any credit, it is only to my spiritual master, because it is by his mercy I am able to start this. So this is the very sublime and submissive Prabhupada's mood. Now, go to the next paragraph. If I personally have any credit in this matter, it is only that I have tried to present Bhagavad-Gita as it is, without any adulteration. Before my present Bhagavad-Gita, almost English Bhagavad-Gita were introduced to fulfill someone's personal ambition. Now read the line from here. But our attempt is present Bhagavad-Gita as it is to present the mission of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So what is the mission of Krishna? Our business is to present the will of Krishna, not that of any mundane speculator like politician, philosopher, scientist. That you can read. You can read the rest, but the most important is to mission and will of Krishna. And then Srila Prabhupada is quoting what is the meaning of as it is. Krishna's mission is like man mana bhav mad bhakto. Srila Prabhupada quote this verse, man mana bhav mad bhakta mad yaji mam namaskuru. And then Srila Prabhupada is quoting one of the scholar who said man mana doesn't mean that Krishna, but somebody within Krishna. So that Srila Prabhupada is criticizing. Krishna and his inner spirit are not different. Krishna is absolute. This absolute position of Krishna is difficult to understand. For any person who is not a devotee of Krishna in this system of parampara. This line is important in Preface. To understand Krishna, one has to be devotee in parampara. Then Srila Prabhupada writes, Lord Chaitanya clearly says that anyone who tries to understand Bhagavad Gita from Mayavad point of view will commit a great blunder. And what is the blunder? That you can read the next line. Now there's the next paragraph, first line is most important. Our only purpose, this is Prabhupada's mission, our only purpose is to present this Bhagavad Gita as it is, in order to guide the conditioned student to the same purpose for which Krishna descended to this planet in one day of Brahma or every 86 years. What is this, million?
8.6 billion years, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So what it means, anybody understand this line? The purpose of Krishna, why Krishna appeared, or any first thing you understand, Krishna appeared regularly in one day of Brahma. Krishna appears regularly in one day of Brahma. So what is the day of Brahma called? Anybody?
Kalpa.
Kalpa. Brahma's day is called Kalpa. Kalpa. Kalpa means Brahma's one day. And there is almost like 1,000 times 4 yugas pass in one day of Brahma, roughly. So, today Brahma has already, his 50 years are over, his 51st year is in progress, and 51st year's first day is in progress. Today, Brahma's life is 51 year, 1 day. And that 1 day, we are in the middle. It is the afternoon of Brahma's day. In one Brahma's day, there is a rule of 14 manus. 14 manus, one after another, rule the Brahma's one day. So presently, we are being ruled by 7th Manu. Vevasvat Manu. The present Manu's name is Vevasvat. And this is the 7th Manu. And as I told you, there are many cycle of 4 yugas are in one day of Manu also. So this is 27th cycle of 4 yuga. Right now it is the first portion of Kali Yuga. Krishna appeared in the last portion of Dwapar Yuga. In the 27th cycle of the Yuga, in a day of Brahma. So regularly, generally, Krishna appears in 27th, I'm sure 27th, not 28th. 27th, but you can check sometime you like. Cycle of the 4 Yuga, the last part of this Dwapar Yuga, Krishna appeared. There is a regular appearance that Prabhupada is given here. So it's not that Krishna appeared only one time. So what is the mission of Krishna when he appears? What is the purpose of Krishna when he appears? Generally from Bhagavad-Gita, we know he comes to establish the religion, to protect the devotees, and to annihilate the demons. Generally, this is the purpose from Bhagavad Gita, we know. But Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Swayam Krishna, when he comes in one day of Brahma, he has a different purpose. This is the purpose of any incarnation. Any incarnation which is generally coming from Garbhodakshai Vishnu or Kshirodakshai Vishnu, that incarnation has this function: Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkartam dharam samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. This is the general purpose of all the incarnation. But when Krishna comes himself, that's what Prabhupada is saying in one day of Brahma. His purpose is to give the genuine devotional service, love of God. Our Krishna consciousness in particular on Rag Anuga path. Krishna personally appeared in one day of Brahma to introduce pure devotional service on Rag Marga. On Rag Marga. This is in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So main purpose of Krishna's appearing is this. Now we are reading further. Now Srila Prabhupada is writing in the middle of this paragraph. You go further and see to interpret Bhagavad-Gita without any reference to the will of Krishna is greatest offense. So will of the Krishna or mission of the Krishna is same thing. If somebody is speaking on Bhagavad-Gita without the will of Krishna, then it is an offense. So how can we understand the will of the Krishna? Prabhupada writes, as Arjuna has understood. We have an example that as Arjuna has understood, we can understand. And then Srila Prabhupada says, such an understanding of Bhagavad-Gita as Arjuna understood is really profitable and authorized for the welfare of human society in fulfilling the mission of life. Last line of this paragraph. Now see what is the mission of Krishna. That Srila Prabhupada said we are only following the will of Krishna. What is the will of Krishna? The Krishna conscious movement is essential in human society because it offers the highest perfection of life. So what is the highest perfection of life? Go down 4 lines. Everyone should know that a living entity is eternally a servant, and that unless one serves Krishna, one has to serve illusion in different varieties of the 3 modes of material nature, and thus wander perpetually within the cycle of birth and death. Even the so-called liberated Mayavadi scripture has to undergo this process. This knowledge constitutes a great science, and each and every living being has to hear it for his own interest. So main thing is that we know that Krishna is God and we are his eternal servant. Not that we are one. Now something coming is most important part of the mission statement. Go to the 5th line, next paragraph. A living entity is happily. You find this line?
Yes, Prabhuji.
The living entity is happily the part and parcel of the Lord, and thus his natural function is to render immediate service to the Lord. By the spell of illusion, one tries to be happy by serving his personal sense gratification in different forms, which will never make him happy. Now, next line is most important. Instead of satisfying his own personal material senses, he has to satisfy the senses of Lord. Now, the most important line. That is the highest perfection of life. The Lord wants this, and he demands it. Both most powerful words. Lord wants it, it is his will. He demands it. One has to understand this central point of Bhagavad Gita. So this is the central point of Bhagavad Gita. Instead of satisfying one's senses, if we satisfy the senses of Krishna, then we can be happy. That is the central point of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna wants this, he demands this. Now again, Srila Prabhupada's humbleness in the last paragraph. Our Krishna conscious movement is teaching the whole world this central point. And because we are not polluting the theme of Bhagavad Gita as it is, anyone seriously interested in deriving benefit by studying Bhagavad Gita must take help from the Krishna conscious movement for practical understanding of Bhagavad Gita under direct guidance of Lord. We hope, therefore, that people will derive the greatest benefit by studying Bhagavad Gita as it is. We have presented, now Prabhupada's humbleness, it here. And if even a one man become a pure devotee of Krishna, we shall consider our attempt a success. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, 12th May 1971, Sydney, Australia. Is it okay? Now you see the next slide. Bhagavad Gita, our only purpose is to present this Bhagavad Gita as it is in order to guide the conditioned student to same purpose for which Krishna descended to this planet, one and day of Brahma. Instead of satisfying his own personal material senses, he has to satisfy the senses of Lord. That is the highest perfection of life. The Lord wants this and he demands it. One has to understand this central point of Bhagavad Gita. Our Krishna conscious movement is teaching the whole world this central point. To help a student understand and appreciate the mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada and to perpetuate that understanding within the ISKCON society. So this is from the preface. Is it okay?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Is it clear what we have discussed by now?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Now actually the whole introduction is lengthy and Srila Prabhupada has discussed this introduction as a small book, teaching of Gita and something. At least once you read this whole introduction, there's a lot in a whole introduction. The Gita is called Gita Upanishad. Then Srila Prabhupada is speaking about parampara. It has to be understood through parampara. And then Srila Prabhupada is speaking of 5 relationship with Krishna. And in that section there is a one word. Can you find out the 5 relation in introduction? It is 3rd page. One may be the devotee in passive state, one may be a devotee in active state, one may be a devotee as a friend. Can you read this? Find it?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So first is called Shantarasa, second is called Dasya, active is Dasya, third is Sakha. Can you see these words?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, okay, now in this paragraph, the last but one line, Swarup Siddhi. Can you find out the word Swarup Siddhi?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So this one word, you understand what is the meaning of this Swarup Siddhi? Anybody can say what is the meaning of Swarup Siddhi? Prabhupada writes here.
To be the servant.
Yeah, Jivera Swarup hai Nitya Krishna and Nitya Das. But we have to realize what is our eternal sthai bhav, sakha bhav or dasya bhav or madhurya bhav. While we are living, if we understand that and we realize that by our sadhan bhakti, then that is called Swarup Siddhi. So you read, and then after the 2 pages, can you see the paragraph? Just what is Bhagavad-Gita? Can you find this line? Go 2 more pages further. Just what is Bhagavad-Gita? Can you find this line?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Tell somebody page number. My Bhagavad-Gita say page number 7.
Page number 5, last line.
Okay, last line for you. Okay, all right. The purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to deliver mankind from the nescience of material existence. The purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to deliver mankind from nescience of material existence. Every man is in difficulty in so many ways as Arjuna was in difficulty. So Bhagavad Gita was spoken not only to Arjuna but every one of us is in full of anxieties because of this material existence. Our very existence is the atmosphere of non-existence. Actually, we are not meant to be threatened by the non-existent. Our existence is eternal. But somehow or other, we are put into asat. Asat means non-existence.
Not exist.
Asat referred to that what is not, which does not exist. So what is this asat, do you think? This world is asat?
Body, Prabhuji.
Our body is asat. Our soul is sat. Therefore Veda says asato ma sat gamaya. Tamaso ma jyotir gamaya. Mrityor mam amritam gamaya. That is the asat. That is the asat. The material world is temporary. It is not false. Now the next page, which may be in your Bhagavad Gita 7th page. This is most important paragraph. The subject of Bhagavad Gita entails the comprehension of 5 basic truths. This is a one, sometimes you have to write a full essay on this subject. 5 basic truths. So what are the 5 basic truths? Yes.
Prakriti karma.
Right. So there's another way to say in preaching, the 5 basic truths in Bhagavad Gita is who am I, to whom I belong, why I am suffering in this world, since how long, and how can I be free. If you use these terminology, the people will be enthusiastic to know because this relate to them. Then we say, who am I? I am soul, Jiva. To whom I belong to Krishna, Ishwar. Why I am entangled in this world? Because of material nature. Since how long? Time immemorial. How can I be free if I do Krishna karma? So now among the all five, which is at least we can change. We cannot change Ishwar, we cannot change Jeev, we cannot change the material nature, we cannot change time.
Karma,
Change
Prabhu.
last
Only
one.
karma is in our hands.
Karma.
Yeah, only karma is, we have adhikaras. Karmana ev adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachan. We are eligible for karma only. All are eternal except karma, which may be from time immemorial, but that can be changed. So this is a section you should read very carefully in the Bhagavad Gita. Almost 2 pages are on this here, and then also in future when you read Bhagavad Gita, you have to quote some certain more verses to make a paragraph on this subject.
Which pages, Prabhu? Can you please repeat?
This everybody found this?
Yes,
This-
Prabhu.
So the one who is asking, please somebody can guide
Page
that.
number 6 down. Page number
Which
6.
page?
Number 7.
Page number 7, Mother.
7. Okay.
So it is going all through 4 or 5 pages here. Now in my book is page number 12. I think in your book it will be maybe page number 10 something. The Bhagavad Gita teaches that we have to purify this material contaminated consciousness. Somebody find this line?
Yes, Prabhu.
So share with everybody in your Gita which page, where?
10, Prabhu.
Page number 10 and paragraph and line.
Prabhu, second paragraph.
Page number 10, second paragraph, okay?
10th line from the bottom.
10th line from bottom, okay? This says the Bhagavad Gita teaches that we have to purify this material contaminated consciousness in pure consciousness. Our action will be dovetailed to the will of the Ishwar, and that will make us happy. Same thing, can you see the central point of Bhagavad Gita? That will make us happy to the will of Krishna, will of Ishwar. It is not that we have to cease all activities. Rather, our activities are to be purified, and purified activities are called bhakti. So what is the definition of bhakti? Purified activities.
Devotees.
Through purified consciousness. So is it the activities in bhakti appears to be like ordinary activity, but they are not contaminated. That is most important because they are pure. So what is the meaning of the pure activities are uncontaminated consciousness? What is the meaning of that? Last line of the paragraph.
The activities should be Krishna centered.
They are transcendental because they are beyond three modes of material nature. So the contamination is of the material mode of nature, and when they are free from material mode of nature, then they are called purified. Now the next paragraph, fifth line. Bhagavad-Gita was spoken to liberate one from bodily concept of life. You find this?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Then Srila Prabhupada writes, what is the meaning of Mukti? You underline this meaning of Mukti, you will find it out throughout your all different courses. What is the definition of liberation or Mukti? From Bhagavatam 2nd canto.
Medical consciousness.
Hitva anyatha rupam swarupena vivastitaha mukti uchyate. This is the verse from Bhagavatam 2nd canto 10th chapter. So this is the meaning of liberation. So you write it down somewhere separately on your paper whenever somebody asks about mukti or liberation. This is the Vaishnava understanding of liberation. Mukti means hitva anyatha rupam, giving up other identification. Swarupa vivastitam, and then we are situated in our swarup as a servant of Krishna. And we act according to that. That is liberation. And then same theme of purification is coming out. You see from above down. Now you see this. Read the next line. It says, Bhagavad-Gita. So mukti means liberation from contaminated consciousness of this material world and situation in pure consciousness. All the instruction of Bhagavad Gita are intended to awaken this pure consciousness. And therefore we find at the end of the last stage of Bhagavad Gita's instruction that Krishna asking Arjuna whether he is now purified, he is now in purified consciousness. It means when Krishna says, now you deliberate on Bhagavad Gita and do as you like. And then Arjuna will say, now my consciousness is purified, means I will do what you say. Nashto moho smrti labdva tva prasadad achyuta karishya vachanam tava. I will do whatever you say. So it means that is the purified consciousness. Now Prabhupada says, what is this consciousness? Next paragraph. What is this consciousness? This consciousness I am. Then what am I? In contaminated consciousness, I am means I am the Lord of all that I serve. I am the enjoyer. And then after 3 lines, this is material consciousness. Material consciousness has 2 psychic divisions. What are the 2 psychic divisions of material consciousness?
And the creator.
And mind.
One is that I am the creator, and the other is that I am the enjoyer.
Mind and mind.
That is called karta bhokta. The 2 words, karta means doer and bhokta means enjoyer. So this consciousness of karta and bhokta is material consciousness. Karta, bhokta. There's a technical Sanskrit word is karta and bhokta. Karta means doer or creator, and bhokta means enjoyer. But actually the Supreme Lord is both the creator and enjoyer. He is a sarva karana karanam, karta, and he is bhoktaram yagya tapasam. So actually Krishna is karta and bhokta, not we. So how can we be happy? Prabhupada writes one important line you remember. But we are cooperator. We are not karta or bhokta, we are not creator or doer, but we are cooperator. Cooperator, we are cooperator. Then Prabhupada gives the analogy of a machine. And then Srila Prabhupada quote a very famous verse from Bhagavatam, watering the root and putting the food in the stomach. Putting the food in the stomach part of that verse Srila Prabhupada is describing. Putting the food in the stomach nourishes the whole body. So we cooperate by serving Krishna, we can be happy. So this is whole analogy is actually this famous verse. You know this verse? Can you see the stomach? So stomach here means Krishna. If we satisfy Krishna, then whole body is satisfied. So watering the root of the tree and the stomach, this Bhagavatam verse. All this is the definition of all these 5 topics is going on. The first time you see the word Hindu in Bhagavad-Gita introduction, after maybe this is the chapter, page number 13 in your book. All the Vedic knowledge is infallible and Hindu accept the Vedic knowledge. Vedic knowledge is infallible.
Last paragraph.
Okay, yeah, so, and then the example is given. Cow dung and a bone, though they are stool and bone, but they are pure. So Gita should be taken as the most perfect presentation of Vedic knowledge. It is spoken by God himself, and then there are, then go down for say 10 lines, then there are 4 defects. Can you see these 4 defects? They are more discussed in Isha Upanishad, but here there are 4 defects described. Sure to commit mistake, is invariably illusion, has a tendency to cheat others, and limited and imperfect senses. Okay, now after one page, go to the page number 15, I think, somewhere. That destination means going back to Godhead is called Sanatan. Can you see the word Sanatan now?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So then the whole 1 or 2 pages are about what is Sanatan. That destination is called Sanatan, is sky. And then everything is Sanatan, eternal. Jeev is also Sanatan. Sanatan Dharam, ultimately Sanatan Dharam. Can you find Sanatan Dharam? Sanatan Dham.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Bhagavad Gita is to revive our Sanatan occupation or Sanatan Dharam. So what is Sanatan Dharam? Which is the eternal occupation of living entity. Sanatan Dharam is, it is not Hindu Dharam. It is not Hindu Dharam. It is the
Sanatana.
Dharam of every living entity. And what is Sanatan Dharam? Actually, to serve and to love. To serve and to love is Sanatan Dharam, and all living entities are doing that. But perfection of that is to love and serve Krishna. That is Sanatan Dharam. Supreme Lord and His transcendental abode are both Sanatan. Then we living entities are Sanatan. This is all is Sanatan Dharam going on. You read this whole. So then Prabhupada says, English word religion is a little different from Sanatan Dharam. Can you find the next paragraph?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So because the religion means faith that you can change, but Sanatan Dharam cannot be changed. And then Srila Prabhupada writes, it is intrinsic like the sugar. The dharma of sugar is to be sweet. So similarly, the dharma of the fire has should be to give the heat and light. That cannot be changed. So Sanatan Dharam cannot be changed. Sanatan Dharam referred to that activity which cannot be changed. Then Srila Prabhupada gives the water example of water, heat and something like that. From Shripad Ramanuja Acharya, that is neither beginning and end. Sanatan Dharam is no beginning, no end. So Sanatan Dharam is not sectarian. Sanatan Dharam is business of all people of the world. The all living entities of the universe, last line of the paragraph. Non-Sanatan religion faith may have some beginning in the annals of the human society. But Sanatan Dharam has no beginning. Now Srila Prabhupada's word Sanatan, he spoke so many times, then he remembers Sanatan Goswami. Can you see the next paragraph? Sanatan Goswami asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about the Swarupa of living entities. That is the Sanatan Dharam.
This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8th line from bottom of second paragraph.
Well, this is, I think, a new paragraph. When Sanatan Goswami asked Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is a separate paragraph.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
And the last line of this paragraph, the living being is that of rendering service to the eternal, is the eternal religion of living entity, living being. So Sanatan Dharam means service. Then Prabhupada writes, you may be Muslim, you may be Buddhist, you whatever, you have to render service. That is Sanatan Dharam. The rendering of the service is Sanatan Dharam, not the different names. And then actually the rest part is how by practicing Sanatana Dharam we can go back home, back to Godhead. Mostly from the 8th chapter of Bhagavad-Gita. Then we are going to the last part of the introduction, which have some Gita Mahatamya verses. There are 7 verses of Gita Mahatamya. These are, I think, compiled by Srimad Shankaracharya. I hope our Ramanujacharya. You make a little research about these 7 verses. Sripad Shankaracharya or Ramanujacharya. One verse is half. The other verses all. This is in our introduction there are 7 verses, but one verse is half. Can you find the first half verse? In conclusion, can you come to the page number in your book, maybe 29? In conclusion, can you find the conclusion?
Yes.
In conclusion, tell everybody where is this?
20th page.
Paragraph.
Yeah. On the bottom.
In conclusion, Bhagavad-Gita is transcendental literature which one should read very carefully. Gita Shastram idam punyam yehe pathe priyata puman. This is the first Gita Mahatamya verse. If one properly follow the instruction of Bhagavad Gita, one can be freed from all the miseries of anxieties of life. Bhaya shoka divarjita. So there are few lines missing in this. So Gita Shastram idam ye pathe priyat puman Vishnu padam vapanoti bhaya shokadi varjita. Vishnu padam vapanoti, one line is not given here. So Gita Shastram idam. So Gita is a Shastra, is a scripture. Gita Shastram idam punyam ye pathe priyat puman Vishnu padam vapanoti bhaya shokadi varjita. So bhaya shokadi varjita is there. Only Vishnu padvano. Vishnu padva. Yeah, that one line is added. There's a Gita Mahatamya 1. Now there's a Gita Mahatamya 2. Gita dhyayan silasya pranayan parasya cha naiva santi papani punarjanam kirtani cha. So this is a usually, normally when the people those who do the recitation of Gita regularly, they do first these 7 verses of Gita Mahatamya and then start it. So the second verse. And then this is the verse which is on the screen here. Can you see on the screen a verse? Mal nirmochanam punsham jalsnanam dine dine sakrit gitam basi sananam sansara malanasnam. Now anybody can translate this from the screen. Mal nirmochanam punsham jalsnanam dine dine. What is the meaning of this line?
One may cleanse by taking bath in the water.
Yeah, everyone cleans his body every day by taking bath. Similarly, Sakrat means only once. Sakrat means only once. Gita Amritam Sananim. If somebody take bath in the nectar of Gita, Sansara Malanasnam means repeated birth and death will finish. Okay, the other verse, next verse in Gita is, in Mahatam is, well, here is the meaning given. Anyway, you know this meaning. Now the next is Gita Sugita Kartavya Kimanya Shastra Vistrai Yaswam Padamna Basya Muk Padmad Vinishrutam. So the meaning of this is this. One need only attentively and regularly hear and read Bhagavad Gita. One need not read any other Vedic literature because it is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all Vedic literature. Then the next most important verse in Gita Mahatamya. Sarva Upanishado Gavo Dogda Gopala Nandana Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Guru Dugdam Gita Mritam Mat. This is the meaning. This Gita Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, the essence of all the Upanishad, is just like a cow. And Lord Krishna, who is the famous as the cowherd boy, is milking this cow. Arjuna is just like calf, and learned scholar and pure devotees are to drink this nectarian milk of Bhagavad Gita. So you may have a cow, but if you don't know how to milk, then you cannot get the benefit. Even you have a cow and a milk, you can know how to take milk, but cow will not give you milk until unless there is a calf. So until unless there is a devotee, there is no possibility of getting the message of Gita. So Gita can only be received through by the mercy of devotee. Now the last verse which Prabhupada wanted, which is very famous, Prabhupada used to say, everybody wants this. You see, in this present day, Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Gitam Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva Ekam Mantras Tasya Namani Yani Karmapi Ekam Tasya Devasya Seva. Now you read this last paragraph. Who will read this paragraph? Bal Govind, you can read this paragraph, Bal Govind?
Yes, Prabhu.
You read this meaning of this. This is also good for preaching.
The last paragraph, right?
Yeah, after this, in this present day.
All right. Yes. In this present day, people are very much eager to have one scripture, one God, one religion, and one occupation. Therefore, Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Gitam. Let there be one scripture only, one common scripture for the whole world, Bhagavad Gita. Eko Deva Devaki Putra Eva. Let there be one God for the whole world, Shri Krishna. Eko Mantras Tasya Namani. One and one hymn, one mantra, one prayer. The chanting of his name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Karmapi Ekam Tasya Devasya Seva. And let there be one work only, the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Okay, next page says the Disciplic Succession. Okay, you read this Disciplic Succession. Is the name of Arjuna there? Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Arjuna's name is there in Disciplic Succession here?
No.
No, Prabhuji.
No.
And everywhere Prabhupada writes that we have to follow the Arjuna. He is the first disciple of Krishna. So what is this?
We have to follow Arjuna.
There are two disciplic succession. One is called Raj Rishi, other is called Rishi. This is a Rishi Parampara, which is coming, which is eternal, which is not broken. This Parampara is never broken. Raj Rishi Parampara is broken.
Last time Kali aitala, beda bide somvara.
Raj Rishi Parampara is broken, but the Rishi Parampara always continues. Mute this, who is this? Please mute.
Sorry, Prabhuji, I'm mute.
Okay, so what I am saying is, there is a Rishi Parampara and then Raj Rishi Parampara. So this is a Rishi Parampara. Now we are going to Bhagavad Gita as it is. So this is the first verse. Dharam kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsava mamaka pandavas chaiva kim akurvat sanjaya. O Sanjaya, after my sons and the son of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? Prabhupada. So Dharmakshetra means religious field. And Prabhupada gave the analogy about Dharmakshetra in the purport you read. As in the paddy field, the unnecessary plants are taken out. In the religious field of Kurukshetra, unwanted plants like Dhritarashtra's sons, Duryodhana and others would be wiped out. This is the analogy of Dharmakshetra, Prabhupada's purport. Now this is what you write down or whatever you want. Overview of first chapter. Actually, what is the heading given to our first chapter? Observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And commonly this chapter is called Arjuna Vishad Yoga. So this chapter has actually two sections. First section is up to verse 27. That is actually the Sanya Darshan, which means what is the title Srila Prabhupada is giving? Observing the army on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Sanya Darshan. And after the verse 27, there is Arjuna Vishad Yoga. So first is the Dhritarashtra's doubts. Verse 3 to 11 is Duryodhana's diplomacy. Verse 14 to 20 is signs of victory of Pandavas. And verse 21 to 27, Krishna as a Bhakta Vatsal, a lover and protector of his devotees. The verse 28 to 47, Arjun's 4 reasons for not fighting. And the Arjun's 5th reason is in 2nd chapter. So from verse 28 to 46, Arjun's 4 reasons for not fighting. And then this is the first lesson. And the next lesson we will discuss if we find, I don't know.
Prabhuji, can you show me the analogy? What was the analogy? Yes.
Now you open your book and you find this in purport of the first verse.
Yes.
This is there are many more things in the purport. If you see, Dhritarashtra is not blind only by the eyes, but he is also blind by his thought. He is dividing himself, his family and Pandu's family. We can read the whole purport, sir, but anyway, today you have to learn the system how we will study. Can you see? Okay, I think better you read the at least first purport. Bhagavad-Gita is widely the real thesis science summarized in the Gita Mahatmya. There it says that one should read Bhagavad-Gita very scrupulously with the help of a person who is the devotee of Sri Krishna and try to understand it without personally motivated interpretations. The example of clear understanding is here in Bhagavad-Gita itself, in the way the teaching is understood by Arjuna. Okay? If someone is fortunate enough to understand Bhagavad-Gita in that line of disciplic succession without motivated interpretations then he surpassed all studies of Vedic wisdom and all the scripture of the world. One will find in Bhagavad Gita all that is contained in other scripture. But the reader will also find things which are not to be found elsewhere. That is the specific standard of Bhagavad Gita. It is perfect thesis science because it is directly spoken by Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now see, the topic discussed by Dhritarashtra and Sanjay as described in Mahabharata from the basic principle for this great philosophy. It is understood that this philosophy evolved on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, which is the sacred place of pilgrimage. From the immemorial time of the Vedic age, it was spoken by the Lord when he was present personally on this planet for the guidance of mankind. Now, the word Dharam Kshetra is a place where the religion rituals are performed is significant because on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was present on the side of Arjuna. Dhritarashtra, the father of the Kurus, was highly doubtful about the possibility of his son's ultimate victory. In his doubt, he inquired from the secretary Sanjay, what did they do? He was confident that both his sons and the son of his younger brother Pandu were assembled in the field of Kurukshetra for the determined engagement of the war. Still, this inquiry is significant. He did not want to compromise between the cousins and brothers, and he wanted to be sure of the fate of his sons on the battlefield, because the battlefield were arranged to be fought at Kurukshetra, which is mentioned elsewhere in the Vedas as a place of worship even for the denizens of heaven. Dhritarashtra became very fearful about the influence of holy place on the outcome of the battle. He knew very well that this would influence Arjuna and the son of Pandu favorably, because by nature they were all virtuous. Sanjay was a student of Vyas, and therefore by the mercy of Vyas he was able to envision the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Both the Pandavas son of Dhritarashtra same family, but Dhritarashtra's mind is disclosed herein. He deliberately claimed only his sons as Kurus and separate sons of Pandu from the family. One can thus understand the specific position of Dhritarashtra in his relation with his nephews. Can you see the analogy given here? Sri Krishna was present. Unwanted plants like Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana and others would be wiped out, and thoroughly religious persons like Yudhishthira would be established by the Lord. That is the significance of word Dharam Kshetra, Kurukshetra, apart from its historical Vedic importance. Well, there's the last part. You find this?
Yes, Guru.
As the paddy field, the unnecessary plants, okay? So, now we are going to the Drupad Putreda Tava Sisheshan is Duryodhana's diplomacy. So verse 3rd, say, I am reading the verse 2nd, but my nature is to read all the verses. Sanjay Vacha Drishtva tu Pandva Nikam Drodha Vyudham Duryodhanas Tada Acharyam Upasanga Raja Vachnam Upabrita. Raja means Duryodhana is thinking I am king, or also it means he is referring to the Dhritarashtra as a Raja, both way. So Sanjay said something. So what the Duryodhana said? Where Duryodhana went? Drishtva Pandvanikam Vyudham Duryodhanas Tada Acharyam Usapsangmaya. He went to the Acharya, Dronacharya. Why he went there? For diplomacy. And what did he say? Pashyetam Pandu Putranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Vyudham Drupad Putrena Tavasishena Dhimata. See how wonderfully the phalanxes of the army is arranged by your disciple, son of Drupad. To say this means Drupad got this son from the yajna to kill you. It means you must be really angry and go and fight from my side to kill them. He wanted to incite the anger in Dronacharya by citing this one line. Okay? Drupad Putrena Tab Sasyena. This is the first diplomacy of, and Srila Prabhupada has given the little history of Drupad's enmity with Dronacharya. They both were friends in same school. But then Drupad became king and he became a poor Brahman. Once he went for the cow for his son's milk, But Drupad said, anyway, in his student life, we said that we are friends and we can share everything. It's not possible now. If you want to beg something, I can give you donation. But Dronacharya left and he was angry. When he became the teacher of the Pandavas, in a Guru Dakshina, he wanted that somebody go and conquer the Drupad. So actually Arjuna alone, he conquered Drupad. And then Dronacharya told Drupad, anyway, I fulfill my promise. I am giving you half of the kingdom, which now I have conquered through my disciple. So he gave the half kingdom back to Drupad. So then Drupad became angry and he had a yajna to get a son who will kill Dronacharya. So from that yajna came the Drupadi and the Drishtadyuman. So that is Drishtadyuman is the commander-in-chief of Pandava's army throughout the 18 days. And Kauravas has changed Duryodhana has changed his commander 4 times. So that Drupad Putra here means Drishtadyuman. Is it okay?
Yes. Yes, Prabhuji.
Here it is, Dronacharya knew that Drupada Maharaj was got his son. In future he would kill me. Still, when he was offered to become his disciple, to learn military art, he accepted. Yes, that means the Brahmins were so liberal. When he is coming as my disciple, never mind. He would kill me in future. That doesn't matter, but I must give him teaching. Bhagavad-Gita 1, 2, 3, London, Prabhupada spoke, July 9, 1973. Now Duryodhana's diplomacy, Sam, Drupad Putra, what is the other one? Arjun, celestial weapon, and Bhima's woe. This is verse number 4. Atra Sura Maheshvasa Bhima Arjun Sama Yuddhe Yudhanu Vratascha Drupadascha Ma Ratha. Arjun, celestial weapon, and Bhima, his woe to kill. Then verse 5. Even though Drishtadyuman was not very important, Prabhupada writes in purport, in the face of Dronacharya, is a very great power in the military art. But the other heroes are there. Victory formidable as a Bhima and Arjun. Next verse. Drishtaketu Chekitana Kashirajascha Viryavan Projit Konti Bhojascha Shabhyascha Narpongava Yudhamanyuscha Vikranto Tamojascha Viryavan Sobhadro Drupadyascha Sarveva Maharaktaya Asmakam to Visheshta Yetan Niboda Dvejotma Nayaka Mamasenyasya Sanyatam Tan Brivime. So mentioning these great fighters on the side of Pandavas. And verse 8, he is speaking of Bhavan, you. First he is saying you. Bhavan, Bhishmascha, Karnascha, Samantanja. Bhavan, Bhishmascha, Karnascha, Kirpascha, Samitanjayaha, Ashwasthama, Vikranascha, Somdatis, Tatevacha. So this is also, oh, you are on our side. Why should we fear? Oh, Bhisham Dev. So he is saying Bhishma afterwards. First he said, though the commander-in-chief is Bhisham Dev, but he is glorifying, because he says he is a Brahman. First I should go to him, because Bhisham is my own grandfather. He will not mind, but I should please first Brahman. So he is saying this, Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha. These are the diplomacy words of Duryodhana. So okay, next verse. Anyacha bhava sura madarte tyakta jivitaha nana shastra prana sarve yuddha visharda. This is called demonic nature. Now, see this verse. There are many other heroes, they are prepared to lay their life for my sake. I will enjoy, they will die. This is demonic nature. Now Prabhupada writes here, as far as others are concerned, the Jayadratha, Kirtvarma and Shalya, these 3 great generals are also named here, Prabhupada writes. Okay, now I am just telling you one thing. Before we read what is on the screen now. Duryodhana went to his spiritual master Dronacharya and asked him to Pashyetam Pandu Putram Acharyam Matim Chamu. See, it means he gave, in one sense, gave the instruction to Guru to watch the army. He don't know what is the phalanx of the army arranged by this human. This is the offensive mentality of a disciple to order Guru. Therefore, a bona fide spiritual master Dronacharya never spoke a word. You don't find Drona Vacha in Bhagavad-Gita. Further you will see, Krishna will tell Arjuna, Pashya Kuruniti. Krishna will tell Arjuna, you see, all they are the descendant of your own dynasty Kuru Vansa. This is the difference between the Arjuna and Duryodhana. Now the verse number 10. Apareyam tva asmakam balam bhishma birakshitam prayaptam toidam etesham balam bhima birakshitam. So now Srila Prabhupada is writing that why we are just counting the name of the two armies. Why we are wasting time in that? So what is the principle here? Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe. Can you see this slide, the word? Some people may ask that by mentioning this great fighter, what spiritual progress we make? Because we are meant for chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So by chanting the names of this great fighter, what do we gain? The question may be raised there. But the thing is that Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe. Whenever there is a connection with Krishna, that also becomes Krishna. So these warriors' names mentioned, we should not neglect. Krishna wanted to gather all the demonic power in the battlefield of Kurukshetra and kill them. That was his plan. Bhagavad-Gita 1-4, London, July 10, 1973. So Krishna said, Prabhupada is giving us insight. So then verse 10. We have Bhisham, which is too powerful than Bhima. And we have enough army. Here is the estimation of comparative strength is made by Duryodhana. He thinks that the strength of his armed forces is immeasurable. Aparayaptam. This is called Amiraya, means they have 11 Akshoni and Pandavas have only 7 Akshoni or 7 divisions of the army. So you read this purport. Now verse 11. Anyecha sarveshu Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yadha bhagam avastita bhishmam eva abhirakshantu bhavanta sarva eva hi. This is also actually diplomacy. Duryodhana, after praising the power of Bhishma, further considered that other might think that they had been considered less important. So in his usual diplomatic way, this is also diplomacy of Arjuna here. He tried to adjust the situation in the above words. He emphasized the Bhisham Dev was undoubtedly the greatest hero, but he was an old man. So everyone must especially think of his protection from all sides. So what do you think, what then will happen? Bhisham, when heard this, then he become he thought, this Duryodhana is fearful in his heart, so make him fearless. The Bhisham Pitavaha Taya Sanjan Harsham Kuru Virda Pitamaha Sankana Singhanadam vinadyochai sankam dadmau pratapavam. Then Bhishma Pitama first blew his conch shell to encourage and make Duryodhana fearful. Now remember one thing. Who blew the conch shell first? Kauravas, commander-in-chief, Bhishma Pitama. It means they are aggressor, not the Pandavas. From Pandavas' side, no Pandava, none of the Pandavas or their commander has ever blew conch shell. Krishna blew conch shell first. Panchajanyam Rishikesho Devadatam Dhananjaya Pondram Mahabaho Bhima Karma Virkodhara Ananta Vidyam Kunti Putro Yudhishthara Nakul Shehadesavasya Mani Pushpako. This is all the names of all the conch shells. So Krishna blew first. It means it was Krishna's desire, not Pandavas. They were not aggressive. So Pitama then blew his conch shell, followed by the other generals on the side of Kauravas. What is the result? Tata Sankasya Bheryasya Panvanago Mukha Sahasabhyayanta Sasabadastuma. There was only Tumala. There was only what happened? Oh, combined sound was tumultuous. Now, coming to the verse 14 to 20, signs of victory of Pandavas. So, 14 verse has 3 signs of the Pandavas' victory. Madhava, Divyo Sankhav, chariot given by Agni Dev to Arjuna. And the other sign of victory is in verse 20, Kapi Dhwaja, name of Arjuna, which means the sign of Hanuman on the flag of Arjuna. So these are the 4 signs of victory of Pandava. Tata Swaiter Hai. Swaiter means white horses. Hai means horses, Swet means white. Tata Swair Hayate Yukte Mahate. Mahate Saindane Stito. Madhava. Madhava means husband of Lakshmi, or one who appeared in Madhu dynasty, or the one who has a sweet pastime. This is a Madhava. Like a Madhu, which means honey. Pandavas Chaiva Divyam. Divya means their conch shell was transcendental, divine. Sankham Pradad Mataho. Sandane Stito. Mahati Sandane Stito means on a divine chariot, which was given by the fire god to the Arjuna. So these are the Prabhupada writes. Bhisham is blowing of conch shell. Compared to that, Arjuna's and Krishna's conch shell, they were transcendental. And then there are name of other conch shell. Prabhupada quotes one thing, Jayatu Pandu Putranam Jesham Paksha Janardana. The son of Pandus will be victorious because on their side is Janardana. Victory is always with the person like the sons of the Pandu because Lord Krishna is associated with them. And whenever and wherever the Lord is present, the goddess of fortune is also present there. And goddess of fortune never lives along without her husband. Therefore, victory and fortune are awaiting. Victory and fortune are awaiting. Arjuna, as indicated by the transcendent sound produced by the conch shell of Vishnu, or Lord Krishna. Beside that, the chariot on which both the friends were seated has been donated by Agni to Arjuna, and this indicated that this chariot was capable of conquering all sides wherever it was drawn over the 3 worlds. Panchajanyam Rishi Kesho Deva Datam Dhananjaya Pondram Mahasam. So this is the name of the conch shell of the Pandavas. There was no name of any conch shell on Kaurava's side. Now this is Vaishnavism, Prabhupada writes. So in the fighting principle, Arjuna is fighting for Krishna. He is following the previous fighting Acharya, Hanumanji. Therefore, he has depicted his flag with Hanuman. That Hanumanji, Vajarangi, kindly help me. This is Vaishnavism. I have come here to fight for Lord Krishna. You fought also for Lord. Kindly help me. This is the idea. Kapi Dhwaja. So Prabhupada spoke this. So any activities of the Vaishnava, they should always pray to the previous Acharya. Kindly help me, kindly. This is Vaishnava. Is always thinking himself helpless, and begging help from the previous Acharya. Bhagavad-Gita 1-20, London. Again, Srila Prabhupada said, this is Vaishnavism. So, verse number 15 has a lengthy purport. Panchajanyam Rishikesho Devadatam Dhananjaya Pondram Dadmao Ma Sankam Bhima Karma Virkodhara. Now, Srila Prabhupada's purport is Rishikesh, on the word Rishikesh. Rishikesh, Hirshi means senses. Hirshik means senses. Ish means controller. The one who is control of senses. And then Prabhupada says impersonal, don't believe in the senses of God. So how can they understand God? So the purport is based on the word Rishikesha. Hirshik means senses, Ish means controller. So impersonal cannot account for the senses of living entities, and therefore they are always anxious to describe all living entities senseless, impersonal. Now why the word Rishikesh is used here? Here on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Lord directly controlled the transcendental senses of the Arjuna. And thus his particular name is Rishikesha. Then Prabhupada writes, the Lord has different names according to his different activities. For example, he is called Madhusudan because he killed the demon Madhu. He is called Govinda because he gives flavors to cow and senses. His name is Vasudeva. He appeared as a son of Vasu. His name is Devaki Nandan. His name is Yashoda Nandan. His name is Partha Sarthi. So different names of Krishna are given by Prabhupada, and then his name is Rishikesh because he gave direction to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Arjuna is referred as Dhananjaya in this verse. Why he is called Dhananjaya? Because he helped his elder brother Yudhishthira in fetching wealth when it was required by the king to make expenditure for different sacrifices. Similarly, Bhima is known as Virkodhara, who eat voraciously, as he could perform Herculean task such as killing the demon Hindamba. So the particular type of conch blown by the different personalities on the side of Pandava. So this is something, and then the next 3 verses describe the other warriors on the Pandava side. They believe the conch shell. Ananta Vidyam Radha Kunti Putro Yudhishthara Nakul Sahadevcha Mani Pushpako Kashascha Paramesha Vasaha Sikandi Cha Maharata Drishtadyu Mano Viratascha Satyakascha Parajita Drupado Drupadyascha Sarvascha Prithvipate Saubhadrascha Mahamaho Sankham Dadmau Pratik Pratak. So then there are name of the great Maharathis on the side of Pandava. They believe their respective conch shells. So now the most important 19th verse. Saghosho dhatrashtan hirdani vidaryata navasya prithvin chayatumalo abhyaruna. Not only there was a great sound, but the heart of the enemy, they were shattered by the sound of the divine conch shell of Krishna and Arjuna and the side of the Pandavas. So the blowing of these different conch shells become uproarious, vibrating both in the sky and the earth. It shattered the hearts of the son of Dhritarashtra. Kaurava's Shankha only made the noise. Pandavas were not shaken by that. But Pandava's conch shell with Krishna has shattered the heart of Kauravas. This is due to the Pandava and their confidence in the Lord Krishna. Prabhupada writes in this purport, why there was a difference between the two concha? This is due to the Pandavas and their confidence in Lord Krishna. One who takes shelter of the Supreme Lord has nothing to fear, even in the midst of the greatest calamity. Now verse 20 is most important. Atha vivasthitan drishtva dhartrashtrana kapi dhvaja. Kapi dhvaja means Arjuna, who has a flag which has a mark of Hanuman. Kapi means Hanuman, dhvaja means flag. Pravarte shastra sampade dhanurdmaya pandava rishikesham tada vakam idama mai pate. So, there is two missions, not only to give protection to the devotee, but this is in the purport 1, 6 and 7 verses. So this is something Prabhupada spoke in again London, which is on the screen. There is two missions, not only to give protection to the devotees, but also to kill the demons. So the devotees of Krishna should be trained up both ways. Not only to give protection to the devotees, to give them encouragement, but if need be, they should be prepared to kill the demons. That is Vaishnavism. Okay, now if I am reading the verse 20 we have just read. See the purport of verse 20. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. We are at 20.
We are reading verse purport. The battle was just about to begin. It is understood from the above statement that the son of Dhritarashtra were more or less disheartened by the unexpected arrangement of the military forces by the Pandavas. That was like Vajra. I think there are different arrangement they made according to Mahabharata. So what arrangement they made at first day. So this different arrangements. View, that's called view. Who were guided by the direct instruction of Lord Krishna, Rishikesh, on the battlefield. The emblem of Hanuman on the flag of Arjuna is another sign of victory. Because Hanuman cooperated with Lord Rama in the battle between Ram and Ravana. The Lord Ram emerged victorious. Now both Ram and Hanuman are present on the chariot of Arjuna to help him. Lord Krishna is Ram himself. And whenever Lord Ram, the eternal servitor Hanuman, and his eternal consort Sita, the goddess of fortune, are present. Therefore Arjuna has no cause to fear any enemies whatsoever. And above all, the Lord is of the senses. Lord Krishna was personally present to give him direction, Rishikesh. Thus all good counsel was available to Arjuna in this matter of executing the battle. In such auspicious condition, arranged by the Lord to his eternal devotees, lay the sign of assured victory. Now, consider this quote may be misused. Which quote? The devotee can kill somebody. Discuss the consequence of such misuse. Select your group, become a best example. Select a representative of each three means somebody to group. This is for whole week you discuss on this. This is the quote. There are two missions: to protect the devotees and also to kill the enemies. So Vaishnava can also kill the demon if the need be. So on this idea you have to discuss among yourself, 2 to 3, sit together, consider the way this quote may be misused. Discuss the consequence of such misuse. Then you give some group discussion. What is the result? Generally, a Vaishnava is non-violent, just like Arjuna. In the beginning, he was non-violent. He said, Krishna, what is the use of this fighting? Let them enjoy. So by nature, he was non-violent. But he was induced by Krishna to become violent. Your non-violent will not help you become violent. You kill them, I want. So if Krishna wants, we should be prepared to become violent. So those who are devotees of Krishna, they should be trained up both ways. They should be prepared. But generally there is no question of becoming violent unnecessarily. Srila Prabhupada, Bhagavad-Gita 120, London, July 17. To ensure that students develop moral and academic integrity in the interpretation, evaluation and application of the Shastric knowledge. So by this type of statement, if you discuss, then you can understand academic integrity when you discuss this. Senyor Byor Madhya Ratha Stapya Me Achyuta. So, where are we? Arjuna is speaking. This is the verse. Verse number 21-22. Arjuna Vacha Senyor Byor Madhya Ratham Stapya Me Achyuta. Yavadetan Nirikshayam Yodho Kaman Avasthitam. Kaitaya Sa Yodhavyam Asmin Ran Samudmaye. Somebody should read the translation quickly.
Should I read, Prabhu?
Arjuna said,
Please read the translation.
Continue, Mataji.
Arjuna said, O infallible
Krishna,
one,
Prabhu.
O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those present here who decide to fight and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms.
Now in the purport you said that although Lord Krishna, Supreme Personal God, out of his causeless mercy, he was engaged in the service of his friend Arjuna. Arjuna is giving order, take my chariot between the two armies. And Krishna is, yes. So this is the beauty of Krishna as a Bhakta Vatsal. Krishna is seen here as a Bhakta Vatsal. By the way, anybody knows the meaning of Vatsa? Calf. And cow is called Vatsala because she cleaned the newly born calf and immediately the calf is stand up and drink the milk. So Krishna cleaned the devotees all dirty things and make him drink the nectar of holy name. So he is addressed here as a Achyuta. That's the most important word. First up, Gita is started by the word Achyuta and will end with the word Achyuta. So Senyor Bhyor Madhya Rastham Stapya Me Achyuta. This is the beginning of the Gita by word Achyuta, by Arjuna. And Arjuna will end the Gita in the end by word Achyuta. Nashto Moho Sumurti Labdva Tva Prasada Achyuta. This is 18th chapter. So Achyuta is infallible and is complete. There is nothing lacking. So Gita is beginning by Arjuna. Arjuna begins the Gita by word Achyuta and he ends the Gita by word Achyuta. Although he had accepted the position of a charioteer for his devotee, his supreme position was not challenged. It is all in all circumstances. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Rishikesh, the Lord of the total senses. The relationship between the Lord and the servitor are very sweet and transcendental. The servitor is always ready to render service to the Lord, and similarly, the Lord is always seeking an opportunity to render service, some service to the devotee. He takes greater pleasure in his pure devotees, assuming the advantageous position of ordering him than he does in being the giver of the order. Since he is master, everyone is under his order, and no one is above him or to order him. But when he finds that a pure devotee is ordering him, he often transcends pleasure, although he is the infallible master of all circumstances. Bhakta Vatsal Bhagavan. As a pure devotee of Lord, Arjuna had no desire to fight with his cousin and brothers. But he was forced to come onto the battlefield by the obstinacy of Duryodhana, who was never agreeable to any peaceful negotiation. Therefore, he was very anxious to see who the leading person present on the battlefield were. Also, there was no question of peacemaking endeavor on the battlefield. He wanted to see them again and to see how much they were bent upon demanding any unwanted war. So this is Arjuna as a Vaishnava want to see. This is also who put this idea in the heart of Arjuna? Krishna.
Krishna.
Verse 23. Yo tasya manavekshe am yaete atra samagata dhatrashtra drubuddhe yuddhe priya chikirshava. Let me see those who have come here to fight, wishing to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra Durbuddhe, evil-minded. It was an open secret that Dhritarashtra wanted to usurp the kingdom of the Pandavas and by evil plans, in collaboration with his father Dhritarashtra. This was Duryodhana, Durbuddhi. Okay, now verse 24. Sanjay Vacha, Arjuna spoke. Then what Krishna is going to do? So Sanjay is speaking. Sanjay Vacha, Eva Mukto Rishi Kesho Gudakeshena Bharata Senyor Ubhyor Madhya Stapyame Ratottamam. So there is the word Rishikesh is same, but Gurakesh is for Arjuna. So what is the meaning of Gurakesh? Prabhupada has given the meaning of Gurakesh. So Gurakesh, what is the meaning of Gurakesh? Gurakesh means one who conquered the sleep. Okay. So we will read one more verse, but I have some, okay, some Gurakesh, some other meaning. One who is dear to the Brahma and Shiva. Arjuna is dear to the Guda. Guda means sweet, like a jaggery. Ka means Brahma and Ish means Shiva. So there is another meaning given by Chakravarti Pada on that. So, okay. So this is what in the next week you should do. Lesson 1's objective. Understanding identified example of Duryodhana's diplomacy with reference to Bhagavad-Gita. First chapter verse 3 to 11. Though there was something also in the next verse. Discuss the liberal nature of the Brahmanas with reference to Dronacharya. Verse number 3. Discuss the relevance of Arjuna's depicting his flag with Hanuman. Vaishnava, a Vaishnava culture. Discuss the significance of Arjuna's ordering Krishna and Bhagavad-Gita, Senyor Ubhyor Madhya Ratham Stape Me Achyuta. What is the significance? And discuss the consequence of misapplication of the Prabhupada's statement regarding Vaishnava and violence. Identify aspect of Prabhupada's mood and mission learned in Preface, and they discuss the importance of these aspects for ISKCON. If one understands Krishna from the Bhagavad Gita and becomes situated in Krishna conscious, engaging himself in devotional service, he has reached the highest perfection of knowledge offered by Vedic literature. Bhagavad Gita purport 1624. If one adopts the principle enunciated in Bhagavad Gita, he can make his life perfect and make a permanent solution to all the problems of life. This is the sum and substance of entire Bhagavad Gita. Introduction to Bhagavad Gita. Here end our this chapter here. But I was supposed to tell you is Gurakesh. Oh, these are the different commentaries. These are the all other commentaries by the Acharyas. If we have time, we can read sometime. Draupadi was mentioned to incite Drona's anger. Duryodhana also mentioned Bhima and Arjuna was powerful foe. Not only had he studies under Drona, but he had gone to the heavenly planet and later fought with the Lord Shiva and had given many celestial weapons. So this is about Arjuna. Duryodhana, however, was especially afraid of Bhima's fiery temperament and expertise in fighting. Therefore, he mentioned his name. Okay, there's something more. Srila Prabhupada has translated the first Sanskrit word in text 10, Apriyaptam, as immeasurable, and his purport explains the verse accordingly. Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan has also taken the meaning of Apriyaptam in that way. Srila Vishwanath Thakur, however, has given the Apriyaptam an opposite meaning. Anyway, don't get confused. Maybe in future we can read more commentaries. Hare Ram, Krishna Balaram. Kapidwa, Arjuna has a flag of Hanuman. This indicates that he had received the mercy of the great warrior Hanuman, who had previously perfected great feats for the Ram. Therefore, Arjuna has no trace of fear. There are some stories about Hanuman agreed to be on the flag of Arjuna. One is of the Bhima going in the mountain and he found the old monkey, and Hanuman manifested and he requested to appear. He said, I will not fight, but I will be on the flag of Hanuman, I of the Arjuna, and when you fight, I will shout through your mouth. And there's another story of Arjuna meeting Hanuman and making a bridge of the arrows, and Hanuman put a foot and bridge was going down. And he saw Krishna was supporting the bridge. Then Krishna appeared and pacified both, that both are my devotees. And then Arjuna requested Hanuman to be present in his flag. Kapidwaja, Arjuna went to Rameshwar. He inquired why Ram had to use monkey. This is the story. Somebody can read quickly. I think we are already over time. Therefore, Arjuna has no trace of fear. So, Kapidwaja, story 1. Baldev Vidyabhushan gives this story. You all know this story? The story 2. The 2 story about Hanuman agreeing to be on the flag of Arjuna. Rishikesh. As the battle was about to begin, Arjuna spoke these words to Krishna, Rishikesh, one who set the senses in motion. This indicates that there is no doubt about victory for the pure devotees, the Pandavas, for whom the Lord of all beings, Hari, has great attachment. Achyuta, O Achyuta, you do not deviate from your innate nature, from your affection for your devotees, or from your supreme power. Controlled by this quality without fear, place my chariot according to my words, the word of your devotee. This is the mood of Arjuna when he says Achyuta. And Achyuta, Srila Prabhupada writes, although Lord Krishna is the supreme personality, that we have read this whole purport. Now points for commentary. Place the chariot so that I can see who are situated firmly, not trembling in fear, who are desirous of fighting, with no desire for compromise. But you are a fighter, not a spectator, Krishna says. What will you accomplish by viewing this? Arjuna answered, I wish to see at the beginning of the battle those friends and relatives in whose company I will fight, and those friends and relatives against whom I will fight. For that purpose, place my chariot between the two armies. Out of friendship, they will make peace? This is the question Krishna is asking. No, there will be no conciliation between the two sides. I believe that they are intent on fighting. Yotasya manana. They are intent on fighting, desiring to please the son of Dhritarashtra, who is unintelligent, ignorant of means of this his own survival. Even in face of this war, which does not sober his intelligence. Therefore, my viewing the rival party in war was justified. Then this is the verse. Gurakesh. So there is a significance of the word Gurakesh. Akesh means Vishnu. A Brahma, Ka Shiva. So Gurakesh means Arjuna, who gives them the experience of the sweetness of the Lord's affection. Just as sugar, good, gives the experience of sweetness. Note, literally the word would mean he who is the sugar for Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. So Arjuna is like a sweet, he is a sweet for all three presiding deities. Therefore Gurakesh refers to he who by bringing Krishna under his control gave Vishnu, Brahma and Shiva the opportunity to experience Krishna's sweetness. This is Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary. Where the Supreme Lord Krishna, the crown jewel, source of all avatar, being controlled by Prem, followed by the order of his servant Arjuna, how could Vishnu, Brahma and Shiva, his mere expansion as Guna avatar, show off any of their powers? Instead, they felt they had reached the pinnacle of perfection by manifesting affectionate feeling for the Lord themselves, inspired by Arjuna. The Lord of the spiritual sky, Mahavishnu, said, Devyat majame yuyor dishtakshuna. This is from Bhagavatam. I brought the Brahman son here because I wanted to see two of you, Krishna and Arjuna. This is in Dwarka Leela. Gurakesh. Gurakesh means the Lord of the sleep. Arjuna had conquered sleep by complete absorption and remembrance of beauty and qualities of his close friend Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Thus, a devotee of Krishna can conquer both sleep and ignorance. Sleep means ignorance. Simply by thinking of Krishna constantly. This is called Krishna consciousness or Samadhi. So Gurakesh means conquering sleep. Sleep means ignorance also. Rishikesh, Baldev Vidyabhushan writes, having been addressed by the greatest devotee Arjuna, Rishikesh, master of the senses, Bhagavan, knowing the working of Arjuna's mind, as he is the master of the senses including mind, impelled by Arjuna, placed that most excellent chariot given by Agni between the two armies facing Drona and Bhishma and all the kings, Mahikshatam. The use of the word Parth, son of Parth, and Rishikesh, knower of Arjuna's mind, imply the following. Because you are the son of my father's sister, the son of Pratha, I indeed will be with you on the chariot. But just now, you are going to give up your desire to fight, since I know everything as Rishikesh. So what is the use of viewing the troops of the enemy? He says this in a joking mood. So we will come to these verses next Saturday. Thank you very much. You have any question or comment? Hare Krishna. Now you have any question or comment? How many verses we have completed? 25, right?
Yes.
No, 24. 24.
24. Prabhuji, I have one query.
Yes.
There is one slide related to surrender unto me.
Yeah,
where can I find the relevant
well, I suggest, usually for Bhakti Shashtri, there is a book by Bhurijan Prabhu, who is one of the pioneer of this Bhakti Shashtri. He has a book, Surrender Unto Me. on Bhagavad-Gita, which has the Prabhupada's purport with the commentaries of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Baldev Vidyabhushan added to it. So that book, if you have, that will be more help for you to understand something.
Fine, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Right.
And also, Bhanu Swami has also commentary on Bhagavad Gita by both Baldev Vidyabhushan and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. If you have that and if you have time to read that, then you can understand Prabhupada's commentary very clearly and very thoroughly.
What is the book name of Bhanu Swami?
One is called Sarthak Darshani and other is called Gita. Well, anyway, you ask the Bhagavad Gita by Baldev Vidyabhushan, Gita Bhushan. Gita Bhushan commentary and Sarthik Darshani, something like that, by Chakravarti Pad. So, any question or comment?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I have one question.
What is the question?
Prabhuji, in introduction we read that Vedic knowledge is infallible and Hindus accept Vedic knowledge to be complete and infallible. Generally, whenever we are preached, we have said that it is not about Hindu, Muslim or anybody, but Krishna consciousness is for everyone, right?
Yes.
So, why is it written Hindu here?
Oh, Hindu, Prabhupada has written the Hindu follow the Vedic literature, but the others are not following. Say Hindus are the community who follow the Vedic literature. So Prabhupada simply wrote that for the international community to know that who is following Vedic literature. So Hindus actually word came from the river Sindhu. The Persian when coming to this side of Bharatvarsha, they used to cross the river Indus. In their language, there is no word is, so they used to call say ha, Hindu, sa for ha. So they say we are crossing the word Hindu, river Hindu, to go to the other side of the Hindu where the Hindu lives. So they actually the word Sindhu has become Hindu, and word Indus has become from Indus came India. But we are neither Indian nor Hindus, but we are Bharatvasi. We live in a Bharatvarsha. Yes. But since now conventionally we are called Hindus, so he has put the word Hindu there.
Okay, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
So we have done verse 24. Next time you just complete all this. Write the questions. Arjun's say signs of victory and Duryodhan's diplomacy, and Krishna as a Bhaktavatsal, meaning of the Gurakesh, something you can write. And next time we will finish this chapter, the second portion, with 4 reasons for Arjuns not to fight. Okay?
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, I have one question, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Can I ask?
Yes.
Prabhuji, in verse 21-22 in purport, here like devotee cannot give the orders to the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. My question is, Prabhuji, like as like in one of the pages we saw like Vaishnava should always depend on the mercy of the previous acharyas. So should we depend on the Krishna or previous acharyas?
We can depend upon Krishna through previous acharya, not directly. But because we can see Krishna through previous acharyas. Our relation with Krishna is through parampara, and in parampara there are the previous acharyas.
So we should not ask anything directly to Krishna. Through the parampara we can ask.
It is better to go through the Guru parampara. We can ask Krishna also. Krishna is so merciful, he is within our heart as a super soul. But more properly, it is better to go through parampara.
Okay, Prabhuji, got it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So anybody has any comment? It was fast because today we have to cover the whole introduction, because this is generally not discussed, but I try to discuss something from introduction. At least in a 1 week you should read the whole introduction thoroughly. Most of the things will come throughout Bhagavad Gita. But this 5 subject matter you should read very carefully. And 7 verses of Gita Mahatmya, it's better you should memorize for your own benefit.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Prabhuji, the 5 subject matters of the Bhagavad Gita, which you said that it will be easier for us to understand it if we will keep it in this form. Who am I?
This is for preaching. This is for preaching. When I preach it, I said in Bhagavad Gita there is something like who am I, to whom I belong, why I am entangled in this material world, since how long, how can I be free. So this is something the way the people can relate, and they will be interested to know, and then we speak these subjects.
Yes, so what will be the answer for since when I am entangled in this material world?
Since time immemorial, time call. Since time which we don't know.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, in the same question, how do you link Prakriti to these questions? Prakriti is what?
How I am entangled in this world.
Okay.
So
By 3 modes of material nature of this, I am entangled by the influence of 3 modes of material nature.
So why am I suffering will relate to the Prakriti part.
Yeah, why I am entangled in this material world, why I am, why I have the suffering or happiness or whatever you say.
And karma will be, how can I be free? Is that
Yeah, how
karma?
can I be free? By my karma. I change my karma, then I will be free. That's only in my hand. And all 4 are not in my hand. Okay, any comment? It was too fast or too slow or something like, anybody want to say something? Was it understandable?
Yeah, it was understandable. At some places it was more faster.
Faster was the introduction or the Bhagavad Gita part?
Bhagavad Gita part.
Okay, which part?
In which we brushed through the shlokas fastly. Not going into the all the purports.
You have to read beforehand most of the purports. Only the main point of the purport we will discuss generally.
Yeah, we read it.
If you read, then most important points we will discuss. Well, usually I read the whole purport when there is a important point to make. But there are certain purport we might have left today. Because, yeah. But usually we read the whole purport.
So one question, then generally I feel that all these things, the words which are used to for Arjuna, Gurakesh, and for Krishna, Rishikesha, Madhusudana, all this, these are actually, because we are hearing it, what Sanjay has said. So is it Sanjay is saying from his mouth by seeing the situation there, or it is what Sanjay has heard directly and he is just repeating it?
Yeah. When he writes Arjuna Vacha, it means these are the words of Arjuna. When there is a Sanjay Vach, it means these are the words of Sanjay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The words, when it says Vacha, means these are their words.
And if somebody asks that why there is no mentioning about any other people from the opposite side, does it because the Sanjay himself was a devotee, so he was interested in giving the details of those who are with Krishna?
He gave the whole list of the other side also.
But he didn't go into like some glorification of them, like Duryodhana, in the Duryodhana side also.
He wrote about the Bhavan, Bhishmascha, Karnascha, Samatanja, Ashwasthama. So he counted all the men names also on his own side. It's not Sanjay saying anything. It is what Duryodhana is saying. He is simply repeating the word of Duryodhana. So Duryodhana only said some names of the Pandava side, some names of the Kaurava side. Not Sanjay is saying.
Yeah, but Sanjay had that opportunity to say something. As Sanjay had the opportunity to tell about the different shank, he was going to so detail.
There is no name of any shank on the Kaurava side. There is a problem. They don't have a divine conch shell. There was nothing to say. Sanjay will give his opinion in the 18th chapter. In last 7-8 verses and 4-5 verses, he will give his opinion. And most of the time, Sanjay will only speak when neither Krishna is speaking, nor Arjuna is speaking. What is going on there at that time, he gives the commentary. That now Arjuna is smiling, Arjuna is morose, Krishna is smiling, so he will say something like that.
So one more question I had, is it that as soon as the Kurukshetra battlefield arena got arranged, he has started narrating, or he has started commentary after some time?
Actually, Mahabharata says on the 10th day. Up till 10th day he was in the Kurukshetra war itself, but when the Bhisham was actually laid down on the bed of arrows, then he rushed to the Hastinapur and told Dhritarashtra that, oh, great grandfather is now slain by the arrows of Arjuna, he is lying on the bed. Then he said, what happened actually? Tell me from the first day, how it happened. Then he started narrating the whole, what was happening from the beginning.
Okay, so from the beginning he has seen it directly from his, and after that,
he was seeing, he was not even in a battlefield, but he has the divine vision given by the Vyasadeva that he can see anything, anywhere in the world when he meditates, and he can also not only see what they are saying, he can hear that, and also he can feel what is in their mind. So even before, this is Prabhupada used to call Dur Darshan, is a television within the heart, fixed by Vyasadeva in the heart of the Sanjay, and then he can see everything everywhere.
So Vyasadeva was the spiritual master of Sanjay? In
that sense.
Yeah, is it same like how we saying that Divigyan Hriday Prakasha?
Our Acharya also have all these pastime always going throughout their heart. When they are sitting in meditation, they are seeing so many pastime Radha Krishna. Prabhupada said our heart has to be television. One day we can see the all pastime of Krishna going continuously in our heart when we sit and meditate.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Thank you, Haribol. So all of you are from Bangalore?
Like most of us from Bangalore, Prabhuji. Like Sanjay Nagar Yatra. You know, there's Vikram Baldev, Prabhuji and Prema Mataji. Yeah, it's a Sanjay Nagar group.
Okay.
Like we are like more than around 24 devotees from Sanjay Nagar. And think remaining devotees from different places.
Okay. Anyway, Bangalore is every year I used to go. Now for this Corona, I am not able to go actually. Balaram Vikram called me a couple of times and some other people, but I could not really move. I'm based in Vrindaban right now. Oh, Balaram is there. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances.
You are also in the group? No?
Yes, Prabhu, very much.
Hare
yes,
Krishna. So, okay. So, well, these commentaries, I can share with some of you. You can share among yourselves that you can relish it when you have a free time. All this is with me in a soft copy.
Yes, Prabhu.
Just I was showing you what the written material. So I can.
Prabhuji, you can send it through WhatsApp. I will add you into our WhatsApp group.
Okay.
So, if it is there in your mobile, you can send it through WhatsApp. Otherwise, I will give you my email ID. You can send it to me.
Yes, sir.
Then I will distribute to other devotees.
Okay. Who is speaking this?
This is Satyadharma Keshwadas.
Satyadharma Keshavdas. Anyway, if you have my email, you can send me your email.
I don't have your email ID, Prabhuji. Can you please give me your email ID?
Oh, say Sarvoma Sharma gmail.com. Anyway, first on my WhatsApp you send your email, then I'll see.
Yeah, can you give me your number, Prabhuji? Mobile number?
Satyadharma Prabhu, I will share with you.
Okay.
I will share.
Okay, fine.
Okay, you have any comment, Balaram Vikram? Prem is also doing the?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Anyway, they asked me if I can, when I say once a week I can afford. But I have Bhakti Vedanta is going on in the evening, but this morning time is okay for me.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. We were very happy to see you.
Yes, thank you very much. You like this presentation?
Yes, yes. Only thing, Prabhuji, we just felt that the verses, we went very fast on the verses. Yes, preface introduction we had read, but the verses we felt was very fast. What we thought that each verse would be in little detail. That is what was our understanding for this.
Will be but the first chapter has the verses which are only names and something that if we discuss it is going to be whole Mahabharata. Okay. Only these two things are there: Arjun's diplomacy and Arjun's victory. These are the only subject matter of these verses.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we have just put on a slide to make it clear what we are discussing. But the next verses will be, basically I prefer to discuss the meaning of the words in the verses as it is Sanskrit and more, but that will come in future. Today, the first chapter has not much to discuss.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So, yes, we will read and come so that it becomes little easy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the next time you can have your question till 24th verse. We'll start from 24th and we'll finish next class we'll finish the first chapter.
Yes.
So you should be prepared for that.
Yes, yes. Prabhuji, how is your health, Prabhuji?
Oh, it's okay. It's going on. It's all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you, Krishna. Yes, so desire we can
thank you. Hare Krishna.
Continue this. Thank you very much. Vancha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva